You've done everything right, built the life, the career, the family. So why does it feel like you're slowly disappearing inside it all? If holding it all together is costing you your energy, your spark, and the parts of you that used to feel alive, this is your permission slip to look at working mum life differently. Because what if getting out of survival mode isn't about doing more, but about finally choosing yourself? Let's open this up together. You're listening to Confessions of a Working Mum. Hello and welcome to Confessions of a Working Mum, the space where we get honest about the messy, beautiful reality of modern motherhood, ambition, and everything in between. I'm your host, Michelle Akester-Marsh, founder of Unshakable Mama. I'm a life coach and healer, wife and mum, and a family-focused feminist, supporting working mums to reconnect with more calm, confidence, and self-trust so they lead themselves and their families with more presence, ease, and joy. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Libby Vincent. She's a very special guest because one, she's my sister, and two, she's a previous client of Unshakable Mama, having been through the program earlier this year. So you have, Libby, you have courageously stepped forwards to help shift the story for other working mums and their families, one mum, one boundary, and one belief shift at a time. So thanks so much for joining me today. It's a real honour to have you here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Would you like to share a bit about who you are, what you do, about your family situation?
Yeah, of course. So, hi everyone, I'm Libby. I have got two beautiful little girls, Erin, who is 9, and Neve, who is 5. They are very energetic, confident, strong young women, which I'm very, very proud of the humans they're turning into. But obviously, with that comes its challenges. And we're a family of 4. Plus, we've got a doggy called Jerry, who is a huge part of our family, and is our therapist and our reason to get out of bed some mornings. He's a joy to have around. And then I've got my wonderful husband Scott, who I've been with now for 17 years. We met when I was 19, so very young relationship, but we're really lucky that we over the years have managed to grow together instead of growing apart. Yeah, I'm really proud of what we have and what we've created. Alongside all of that, I am a nurse manager for the NHS. I have an incredibly big job, and an incredibly busy job, and challenging job at times, all the time, which I love being a nurse. I'm so proud to say I'm a nurse and everything I've achieved, but the last couple of years I felt quite lost with what's next. What do I want out of life? Where are we going? What's our next goals and targets, and what do we want to do? Because sometimes the lifestyle we have, it doesn't feel very sustainable. And we all know the joys of the NHS at the moment, and when you live and breathe it, it is quite exhausting. And I feel like I've got a bit of a shelf life with my career. But yeah, so that's me.
Oh, beautiful. And I would just like to second the beauty of your family. Not that I'm biased, of course. I'm very proud of your family and you. Totally biased. Yeah, let's see where this conversation goes, because obviously I know an awful lot, and that's why as your coach it was very hard, because it was hard sometimes to remain unbiased. I've said to you, didn't I, it's like, well, okay, do you want the sister answer or the coach answer? Because sometimes they'd be very different. So what confessions do you have? Like, tell us about your juggle of working mum life. Like, what's the story behind it? Get raw and real with us.
So my confessions. So like I said, my career is a huge part of my life and a huge part of who I am. I flew up the nursing ranks really quite quickly. because I was so passionate about it, and I wanted to make nursing better for nurses. That's my real passion with nursing, is the nurses that I work with. I have never met such wonderful people in my life. People I stand arm in arm in when I nurse. How some of them get out of bed in the morning, I will never know, and yet they do, and they come to work and work so hard and just give their all to other people, and it's just inspiring to be around every day. And I got to I hit all my career goals. My eldest Erin was 4, about to start school, so we thought it would be a good time to try for another baby. And sort of the end of 2019, life was good, and I really felt sparkly and like we've made it, pretty much as around the time I found out I was pregnant with Neve, we heard about this thing called coronavirus that was in China and possibly going to head its way this way. And I remember being called into a meeting at work and basically told to prepare for Armageddon. And I remember sitting there going, I'm 6 weeks pregnant. How's this going to work? And so I managed to drag out the secret of being pregnant like another couple of weeks. But when I was 8 weeks pregnant, that's when the government issued that all pregnant women should be shielding. So I had to very early on tell everyone I was pregnant. I was whisked away from my ward and all my comrades, and I shielded. But that lasted a week, and then I decided I had to go back. So I had to sign a waiver to say I was happy to go back to work and work frontline being pregnant, which I did. And luckily I kept safe. I knew I wasn't putting myself or the baby at risk. Luckily with my job I could manage it. And it was second baby, so I think with second babies we trust our bodies, don't we? And we trust our intuitions. So I felt good. Got through many trials and tribulations in 2020 with being pregnant in lockdown and not knowing if Scott could even be present at the birth, and working frontline, trying to sell a house. But I think the first 2 weeks of Neve's life when she was born were probably the happiest I've ever been. To the point I remember driving back from school, doing the school run one day, and I just felt so happy and content. And I was like, stop being happy, because this is all going to go horribly wrong. If you keep being this happy, something bad's going to happen. 2 weeks later, we went into lockdown too. And I was homeschooling with newborn. So I think that was the point I started to become stressed. And it was a different stress. It wasn't, busy nursing stressed or busy manager stressed or busy mum stressed. It was like this different level of stress, which I'd never experienced before. And over the course of that year, it got worse and worse and worse. I went back to work thinking that everything would be okay when I was earning a bit more money again and back into a routine. But that 9 months I'd been off on maternity leave, so much had changed at work, and it wasn't the same experience I was going back to. I really hit rock bottom, I would say, with my mood, and just completely lost who I was and what I wanted to be. I loved being a mum. That content still stayed there, but actually that made it worse, because all I wanted to do was shut the door on the world and be at home with my babies. Obviously, in reality, you can't do that. Not everyone can. So when I was thinking about what I was going to say, I remember there's a picture that we've got, and it's a family picture. It was I think Neve was about 18 months. We're sat on a beach. It's a beautiful sunny day, and someone was taking our family picture. And I remember as the picture was being taken thinking, I can't do this anymore. And by this, I meant life. That's how bad it got. I just felt completely empty. I remember smiling to this photo and just feeling nothing inside. And that's when I knew that I needed to change something, and I needed to try and get some help. which I did. And I'd just like to say, although I said I didn't want to do life anymore, I don't mean suicidal or anything like that, but just I can't do this. I can't do what's expected of me or what's required of me because I've just got nothing left to give. So it took 2 years really for me to start to feel like me again. But people would always say to me, you've lost your sparkle, which made me really sad. So kept plodding along and life got easier and better, and we did get in a routine and we made a few little changes as families, which all helped. But when I started the programme with you at the beginning of the year, well, just before that, there was a few months where I just couldn't shift what people were saying, that where had my sparkle gone? How am I going to get my sparkle back? And I didn't want to go down the routes of antidepressants or anything like that because, I know it's in there. I just have to find a way of coaxing it out. So I did your Unshakable Mama programme, which really helped me set some boundaries, set some goals, have time to decompress and reflect on actually what is going great and what am I doing well, what makes me me, and set some intentions. Some I've achieved, some I haven't, but that's okay. And it's a long old road to recovery. It's amazing how quickly this world can break you down. In the space of a year, I was broken by life, and we're nearly 4 years on, and I'm still not there. But I definitely am in a place where I feel much more confident in who I am and what I stand for, and what I will accept and what I won't accept, and trying to be kind to myself. The mum guilt, however, I have crippling mum guilt, huge mum guilt, and I know it's not just me. And that's why I really wanted to come and do this today, because if I'm feeling it, then there's going to be so many other people out there that do. So like we were talking about, it's good to talk about these things and share our experiences, and hopefully it'll help someone.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing so openly and vulnerably there. I didn't have a clue what you were going to say, and I mean, obviously I know the story, but that's raw. It's raw. It's real. And thank you for sharing, because I know it's going to resonate and I know it's going to help. Even if just one mum, but I don't think it's going to be just one mum. It's going to be more mums. Because like you say, we all feel like it. And that's exactly why we're here talking and having these conversations, because we want to crack open the fact and lay it on the table that we are all having these feelings, and we don't need to hide from it anymore, because by talking about it, that's the only way we're going to heal, and it's the only way we're going to make change. So
yeah, definitely.
You're amazing. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. So how would you describe your life now?
It's still hard. Only last week I had a huge meltdown just because I forgot my daughter's forest school kit, which it doesn't matter. But when you're in that spiral and you're just trying your best every day to remember everything and be organised, and you can just let one little plate drop and it can really get to you. So it is no way perfect. It is a fine balance. I do feel like I'm walking a tightrope most days, but I'm just really trying to cling on to the positives and have gratitude. One of the things that has really resonated with me from the Unshakable Mama course was what you taught us about remembering what is urgent and what is important. So tasks that are urgent and tasks that are important. And that really stuck with me, because I think as a person, I naturally think everything needs to be perfect, and I have to be this perfect mother and perfect boss and almost keep up a bit of an act. But when I have these moments, these bad moments, when the facade slips, or I drop a plate, I try and ask myself, was that plate urgent, or was that plate important? And
That's amazing.
always the answer is it was important, but it wasn't urgent. Um, so, you know, I think we're doing all right. Could be worse.
Absolutely. Yeah, that important versus urgent, it seems to be one that always lands really hard, because otherwise we're just caught up in this perpetual cycle of busyness, like just trying to do the never-ending to-do list. But whereas when you take a step back and go, okay, well, what is actually important to me? And they're the things that we seem to be missing in life. Those hugs with the girls, bedtime, and whatever it is, those date nights, or I don't know, whatever is important to us, we're missing because we're so busy doing the urgent. So yeah, thanks for sharing that as well.
Like you were saying, like hugs with the girls and bedtimes with the girls, I'd be rushing around. They'd ask for a cuddle. I'd be like, no, I've still got 50 things to do. And you think, okay, well, that stuff isn't urgent and this is important. So it does swing both ways. I think with your failures, it makes you realize that, so that the urgency sort of becomes the main catalyst in that. But whereas when it's something nice and something positive, actually the important stuff becomes the catalyst and the most important thing. So it is something that moves and is fluid. But yeah, I use that tool a lot.
Amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So what would you say your biggest challenge is now in life?
Try not to get too stressed. Stress was the catalyst to what started to make me sort of lose myself. I laugh because only 10, 12 years ago, 11 years ago, I used to have friends that used to joke and say I was so laid back and I never got stressed about anything, and how unorganized I was and how blasé I was about stuff. And yet here we are, something's happened in like 10 years where I feel like almost a completely different person to that, the opposite person to that. I have to write everything down. I have to have lists for everything. It just feels like we're on a merry-go-round of life, and it just takes one cog to slip out and the whole thing comes crashing down. So it's a struggle maintaining that. And again, as much as that is important, because we all want to be the best versions of ourselves, don't we? And we all want to do the best for our kids and we want to perform the best at work. Equally now, I am getting much better at stopping and telling myself, this doesn't need to spiral. It was just one mistake or one bad day, and reset and try and keep going.
Yeah. That's the unshakable bit. That is like the unshakable foundations. Like, we will always have challenges. There will be challenges inevitably, like on a daily basis, but it's how we move through them, how we process them, whether we let them suck us in or whether we kind of go about our merry way. And it's a constant practice. So there isn't anything perfect about it. Like I think I'm probably going to say this in every episode. I've removed the word perfect from my vocabulary because perfect doesn't exist, and perfection is a perception, and it means something different to you as it does to me, to somebody else, and it will mean something different to you on a different day depending on your mood. So it's an interesting one. So we're all striving for this perfect and everything, but actually we are allowed to fall off the bandwagon, but it's a case of, do we get back up again?
Yeah.
How quickly do we get back up again?
Yeah, exactly. Recently we took my daughter to Chessington for her birthday, because she is obsessed with giraffes and she wanted to feed giraffes. It's been her birthday wish for about 3 years now, but we were finally in a position to be able to do it. we spent a lot of money on the weekend. There was a lot of organising to it, you know, dog sitters, all of that. And on the way there, she started throwing up in the back of the car. And my husband was like, right, we need to turn around. You need to just phone the hotel and tell them that, you know, we need to move the date. I was like, you can't do that. You know, if we don't turn up, we'll lose the money and they won't care if we're there or not. So I managed to calmly convince him that, you know, she's really good at bouncing back. It's only been a couple of vomits. It could be anything. Let's just keep plodding on and see what happens. And by the time we got to the hotel, she was much better. She managed to eat some dinner. She was a bit unsettled that night, so we didn't have a very good night's sleep. But we got there and she fed the giraffe and it was all very lovely in the end. But yeah, a year or so ago, I would have probably reacted like he did. What's the point? This is all terrible. What a waste of money. And probably let him convince me that we needed to turn around because it was all a disaster. But you know, we've got to try and keep seeing the light and trying to see the positives without letting the negatives bring us down.
Yeah, and I bet those giraffes brought lots of smiles.
Yeah.
Do they still? Does she still talk about it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, so what do you dream about or long for? What are you often dreaming of for yourself?
As a family, we dream of an adventure. So I before kids, I never really did many adventures. I left school, met Scott, started university, started nursing. We got married, we bought a house, we got the dog, we got the kids all really quickly. Not quickly, but you know, as you should, you know, as that was the done thing to do. And I really wish that after we got married, probably after we bought the house as well, we'd have just taken a 6-month sabbatical or something and just gone on a bit of an adventure. He's done it. He spent a couple of years living in Australia. So every time we have a bad day, he's trying to convince me it's a good idea to go out there. But I agree with him. You know, I do really want to be able to do it. I don't want to wait until I retire to have to do it. I want to do it with my girls. I want to have an adventure with them. So we've tried a few things. I did actually manage to get a job in New Zealand. But when we looked into what we'd have to do to get the dog out there, it was a bit horrendous. So it's not on the cards for a couple of years yet, but I do hope that before Erin has to start her GCSEs, we can perhaps, you know, go on a little adventure just for 6 months. Not even that, even if it's just a couple of months, you know, just to go see the world a little bit and take our babies along the way with us. I think that would be really magical. And Erin, my eldest, has already got the adventure bug. She's desperate to go and see the world. So yeah, and I think Neve would be all right. She'll embrace it. So yes, that is a dream. And I'd like to be around a bit more for my girls. I feel like I've missed a lot. I've always tried to be around for their big stuff, you know, like I do overcompensate on their birthdays. I do. And that's a mum guilt thing. I always try and make sure they feel really special on their birthdays. I always try and make sure I'm at Erin's sports days because she's a sporty bee, so that's a big day for her at school, and you know, all of Neve's plays and performances and things. So I do make sure I prioritise that. But when I say to them, you know, would you rather we kept having holidays, or would you rather mummy is around more? I always think they would say they want me around more, but they go, oh no, we don't want to lose the holidays. So I think that's the me thing. I think I would like to be around more for me, but I think actually we've got an amazing village around us. We've got amazing friends. They're really independent, strong girls. They probably don't need that. Um, so that's probably not an urgent issue. And maybe by the time we're in a position for me to be around more by working less or whatever, they really won't need me or want me around.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, it's great that you've asked that question, and maybe it's that slight instant gratification that kids have. It's like, I want a holiday. But I know that you've also made shifts already
yeah,
to be around more. So like you've adjusted your working hours recently, haven't you? And things like that. So it's all, it's like little steps. Well, that was quite a big step, but it's like it's steps,
yeah,
strides or small ones or whatever, to make things happen when we can stay focused on what it is that we really want.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I dropped my hours. It's only 3.5 hours a week. But that was all I could do really to make sure I'm around for them one day a week. I'm around for myself one day a week so I can, wash some pants. Um,
but that but that is also very important. But when you get to do those chores without being disrupted, and that alleviates you having to do them when they're around. So, but
yeah,
also you've had your head on today and stuff as well. So it's, you
yeah.
get a bit of time for yourself, which is
And I've
very important. So make
taken
sure
the
you have
dog. Yeah.
have that balance on your days off. Don't only do the washing.
No, I won't. No. And I took the dog for a really long walk, which always brings me so much joy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, with that, we've taken a bit of a financial hit. It's only 3.5 hours, but that times four over a month is quite that's sort of my play money that I've had to sacrifice. But already I feel better. I think we're week 3 into me now working less, and I already feel better. Feel like there's a bit more of a balance. I've got a bit more control of things. And as well, like if one of them was sick, it's not another day of annual leave I'd have to take, or carers leave or whatever. Where I feel crippled with guilt about work. Then I can say to them, look, just get through like the next couple of days, and then you can have a day with mummy at home if that's what they needed.
Yeah.
And that's all I can do for now, because that's all we can afford, and that's all that work will allow me to do, because they've got a service that needs to be run as well. But yeah, for now it's something, and it's been a huge win this year. And again, that was a product of the Unshakable Mama course. Having the confidence to stick to my boundaries and stick to what I felt was reasonable.
Advocating for yourself.
Yeah.
I love it. Love to hear it. Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you again for sharing for all of that. And I got one final question for you.
Okay.
How much would you pay a fairy godmother to bring those longings to reality, or just to help you with what you need on a daily basis?
Oh, how much would I pay? I haven't got a lot to give. How much would I pay? I'd pay what I could. Well, I'd probably pay the cost of a plane ticket. So
Going rate for fairy godmother. What is the going rate?
yeah. I don't need a fairy godmother to make all that possible for me. I need a fairy godmother to come and clean my house and put my washing away.
Okay, so how much would you pay for that bit?
And the other thing I say I would pay anyone any money for is to pair up socks. Oh my God, I hate it. I hate that job. And whenever there's a basket full of odd socks, I always think I would pay probably. Is it one hit or like over the course of a year?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever feels
I would
right.
probably pay someone £100 a month just to pair up the socks.
Blimey. Well, do you know what? I get my boys to do it for free. So
That's a good idea.
yeah, so there's my top tip for the day.
Yeah, that is a good
It's
idea.
like, if you want to go out, you're going to pair these socks first because I need to do it, so you can help me.
Yeah, that is
So,
a good idea. Although Erin would do 3 and then wander off. And then Neve would say she couldn't do it.
Well, when she's run out of socks again, then
Yeah,
no, isn't it? It's like with me finding like dirty underwear and socks all over my son's bedroom. I'm like, well, next time you moan at me for having no socks, no clean socks, you can't moan at me because you never put the things in the washing basket.
absolutely.
So, well, thank you so much for joining me today, and once again for sharing so openly. It's been really, well, it's been really raw and real, which is exactly what we need to hear of. So thank you. Thanks for joining
That's
me.
okay. But yeah, anyone that's struggling out there or felt like I did, you aren't alone, and there is always someone to talk to. So, if you need help, don't keep soldiering on. I soldiered on far too long. I should have gone and got help sooner. So please do. And it doesn't mean that you're failing or that you're weak. It's just you're not well, and you need someone to help make you better. Um, and yeah, I'm getting my sparkle back. I wouldn't say it's there all the time, but that's life, isn't it? We will have good days and bad days.
We never sparkle every day. It's not reality.
No.
We cannot sparkle every day because sometimes the shit hits the fan, or sometimes there are things that are going to drag us down. But again, it's the thing like, okay, well, I don't actually want to be this version of me, so how can I get my sparkle back? What can I do for me right now? So
yeah. Absolutely. And equally as positive to that, by hitting rock bottom sometimes, it makes you appreciate the good things and appreciate the good things about yourself, and makes you see the good in yourself. It forces you to. So as a result, I've never been more confident that I am a good person, and I'm a good friend, and I'm a good sister. And why wouldn't you want me in your life? And actually, how awful would it be if I wasn't in these people's lives, and vice versa? So just talk and get help, and just remember who you are, and it will come back.
Absolutely. And yeah, I definitely want you in my life. Just saying.
Me too.
You're listening to Confessions of a Working Mum. Much love and thanks goes to Libby for her time and courage to share her story today. If you're listening to this and thinking, I feel the same, I've also lost my spark and know there must be more for me, I want you to know that you're not doing anything wrong. It's not a personal failing. This is a societal systemic issue that's failing working mums. However, there is a way to create more calm, more space, more support, to feel like you're not carrying it all alone, and to start feeling like yourself again without everything falling apart. If you're ready for that next step, you can download my free Overload Reset or get a free personalized permission oracle reading to begin creating more breathing space in your life. If you want deeper support, you can explore the 60-minute one-to-one mind massage or step into the 4-month Unshakable Mama portal, whichever feels right for you. You don't have to do this on your own. Support, accountability, and community are the key. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. If you found it insightful, please subscribe so you